Good morning. This is Bill from Europa, Naples, and in a sort of an ongoing fantastic month for me, I get to drive and run around in what was probably the most iconic car of my, call it my youth, my early adulthood, whatever the time is when you're really into cars. Nice timing on the weed whacker, by the way. I really like that. It's been bone silent up until 10 seconds after I hit the start button. Anyway, this is a 1990 Chevrolet Corvette. Fairly obviously, it's red, as Corvettes probably should be. But what makes this thing special is it is the ZR-1. Those initials, that acronym, whatever you want to call it, that moniker was the ultimate. Back when, I poured through automotive magazines, reading about everything I could. Internally, Chevrolet dubbed it the King of the Hill. It was to take the Corvette to a whole new level. There was even some talk about how they couldn't believe GM had been allowed to build it because it was so damn good. It was better than just about anything else they made. And frankly, left people wondering why the rest of their lineup wasn't given this kind of attention. It probably most famously, or certainly the way that I like to say it, was dubbed the Corvette from Hell by Car and Driver, and I think that's probably the most accurate depiction. It had performance figures and other statistics in 1990 that are fairly commonplace today, but were virtually unheard of back then. For instance, it was the best handling production car in the world. The best handling production car in the world. 0.94 on the skid pad. It had 375 horsepower, 385 foot-pounds of torque, and it was just badass. And the only real way that you knew it, real car guys, would know from these rectangular taillights. They showed up on later Corvettes, but in 1990 it was ZR-1 only. Also, the body was wider to accommodate these insane 315, 35, 17 Goodyear Eagle VR1s. That's what were specially made for this car back then. Now they have that size, in other places, but the body was wider. And, otherwise, looking at the side of this thing going down the road, people thought you were in a Corvette, which might have been a problem. I should say a base Corvette, because the base Corvette was $32,000, while the ZR-1 package upped that window sticker all the way up to $59,000. So there was very little to distinguish to the world that you'd spend an extra, 30 grand getting some performance out of your vet. Anyway, look at this thing. Bright red leather inside. It has just 18,000 miles, which, frankly, a lot of guys bought these early cars to be collectible, so they're out there. I think it represents an absolute bargain in the car world. It was such a significant car. It really sent GM, global in terms of desirability and lust. There are guys riding around Switzerland in old Cadillacs and stuff, but, it's like wearing jeans with your Armani. It wasn't really taken seriously, while this was the first high-performance car to come out of the United States in many, many years that the Europeans went absolutely nuts for, and rightly so. For one thing, it's a great-looking car. The C4 is, much maligned in the Corvette world for a variety of things, but looks aren't among them. It is just a fine-looking piece. It does have the original C4 front end, which is nice. They rounded it all off later. To me, that's a real distinguishing feature in the way the car was originally drawn. You can see the slats on the side, tune port injection behind that LT5 that's under the hood. And anyway, let's just start looking around. So we'll go inside the hatch area first. Oh, the weed whackers, the bane of my existence. All right, you can see this car has the two-top option. It's got the fiberglass body color top and also the crystal clear, lovely mint condition plexiglass top. So if you want to feel like you're in an F-16, you put that top on there. See if I can lift this up one-handed. You see that red bag there has all kinds of goodies in it from this car. We'll have photos of those on the website. But you can see it's red back here. I've got my bag of crap, but otherwise everything mint and lovely and what you're supposed to see. The hatch area. It was also kind of nice that hatch area window popped open. On earlier Corvettes it did not. Under here is the reason for being of this. Look at this duck coming in to say howdy. Man, these things are vicious. I'm going to keep, you know, good 15, 20 feet buffer zone. That thing will come at me like you wouldn't believe. That's right, you keep going. Anyway, all right, fire this thing up, you'll probably flee. There it is, the LT5. This engine, designed by Lotus, built by Mercury Marine, by hand mostly, because Mercury Marine was very skilled with the precision aluminum. And it's, of course, an aluminum block, aluminum heads. Otherwise, it shares, you know, a few features with the original small block Chevy, but I believe it has the same bore, maybe the same stroke. That said, it had a 12-quart oil cooling system to keep everything nicely lubricated. And on that lobster on the top, this Tuneport lobster, you can see that it has all these extra intake runners. And, you know, that with the heads is the magic of this Lotus design system. And it's how they got 375 horsepower out of a small block Chevy. You know, when you first start the car, you're going down the road under 3,500 RPMs, you know, tooling around. You got about 200 horsepower. It's using the early primary, you know, runners. And then over 3,500, it opens up the secondary runners. All hell breaks loose. And you can rev this thing all the way up to 7 grand and hit that 375 horse. So what an incredible, incredible machine. See LT5 on the spark plug wires. Everything about this engine was special. In fact, to prove how reliable and heavy duty it was, Corvette and Chevrolet ran an endurance test to set a record, and averaged over the course of 24 hours, might have even been more, over 175 miles an hour, setting the record for durability at top speed in a car. So this was a pretty serious beast. It had taken years to develop. It was, you know, the brainchild of some pretty heavy-duty car guys at GM, and it's the engine that they all wanted to have in this C4 Corvette from the beginning. So it came to fruition in 1990 with the help of, you know, little names like Lotus and Mercury Marine, and really is what sets this car apart from the crowd. You can see how nice this one is underneath. The headlights all folded neat, and your bowling green Kentucky tag up there, and otherwise all very proper and befitting of a low mileage collector car. Before I close it, let's see if we can get a look at these shocks. This suspension system was also extremely special for this car. What it did was, yeah, there's a better view. It electronically dampened the shocks through 3 different user settings and 14 different settings internally to go from a very soft sort of grand touring setting all the way up to an insane track setting. And man, did it work well, and does it continue to work well. This thing, you know, you can really daily drive it to work. It's nice, smooth, reliable, relaxing, and you know, then you put it into the performance mode, hammer it around some corners, and it's an absolute track monster. So incredibly advanced suspension, sort of a you know, a tuned Z51 option car. And really, really incredible, you know, technology under the hood of this thing. And again, the technology was what made it so incredible back then. It absolutely blew the doors off a 911 Turbo around the racetrack for half the price, or roughly so. And, you know, that's why it can be forgiven some of its shortcomings, which are, you know, kind of a, I don't know if you want to call it cheapy sort of materials. You're not going to see a gap like that on a 911. You know, the plastic, the, you know, whatnot. It's all fine. You know, it's good enough. But, of course, it's not befitting, you know, what a supercar is. That said, the car was $60,000. The 911 Turbo was $105,000, and you know, the Lamborghini or the F40, which this thing had performance that rivaled, very easily rivaled. You know, they were off the charts in terms of price. So you got to hand it to Corvette for that. You can see these beautiful leather sport seats, never been touched up, left original for collectors. You got a little bit of something there from your rump. You got a little bit of patina there on the entryway, but nice, soft, proper cushioning. Very beautiful color on them, still bright red, and very much collectible quality. Also the original ZR-1 floor mats there. So let me hop in, find the key, and do what I really want to do, which is take this thing for a ride. Real quick, I'll show you the headlights. Look at that, nice and proper. I really miss pop-up headlights in cars. So, like any Corvette, you essentially have to fall into it, especially when you're an old guy like me. But, oh God, you do get used to it after some time. Maybe you don't get used to putting the seatbelt on one hand and get your foot stuck between the clutch. So, this instrument cluster was all new for 1990. Soon to be shared by every Corvette. You know, I kind of like the original F16 thing with all the digital displays, but oh God, listen to that. 375 horses of LT5 power coming to life. This thing absolutely wails when you nail it. You know, it's a nice, quiet idler, you know, menacing rumble as you're you know, just sitting there driving around. But when you get on it, it's a conversation stopper. Anybody with an earshot is going to shut up and listen to the car. Here you see, of course, the headlights, the fog lights, that new for 1990 dashboard. You got a big glove box there with your Corvette books. Here's my favorite light on the car. Right where I'd be used to seeing a check engine light, what you see instead is full engine power. Now, the reason it can have that light is because of this hilarious little key setup here. Okay, so of all days for the phone to ring, this is not my favorite day. So anyway, full engine power. If you're gonna hand the car over to some nitwit kid at the valet stand, you've got this key here, which you can switch between normal and full. So in normal position, you can go to 200 horsepower, make this thing a tame, you know, certainly ample enough to drive around, but not the insanity of the 375 horses on the LT5. By insanity, I'm putting that in 1990 terms. That was just unheard of. You got these great little cup holders here. This to me is a crime against humanity. I can appreciate the Alpine touch, but you know, that said, I think I'd probably have the original Delco-Bose in there. Down here you've got your power seats, and it's got all these adjustments here. Very nice stuff. They all work. Here's your suspension settings for touring, sport, and performance. And anyway, everything just absolutely lovely. We got a glove box here with that original little snap-on dedicated tool to do the hardtop removal, and everything sort of neat and nice and as it should be. So, all right, let's go for a spin. Get our e-brake off, and away we go. So what a joy for me it is to drive this car, this thing that was so iconic to me in my youth, so important, so incredible, and now I get to create traffic mayhem with it on the roads. We do have nice cold air conditioning, get that going a little bit, and man, you can just feel the responsiveness of this thing. You know, the small intake runners are, you know, they're absolutely geared for instant throttle response. So when you're, again, driving around the parking lot or on the streets, you just tap that thing and you got some incredible juice there. And then, of course, when you get into the intake runners, the big ones, the secondaries, man, that is when you know that this is one serious machine. Unfortunately, there's absolutely nowhere for me to show you the power this car has. This is a real shame. Oh God, all this traffic. Maybe I can hang back a little bit, get my air off. Let's see what happens. I'm in second gear. I got people walking around. This guy's crawling. We got a bicyclist. Get in the bike lane. What are you doing on the side of the road? God, just making everybody miserable. There's an actual bike lane there, and he feels the need to be on the left side of the road and make cars go around him. I'm so tempted to blast this LT5 past him. And watch this, he probably won't stop at the stop sign either. I'm sure he'll give you some technical advice about why he rides on the road, and then at the same time, no stop signs. So, alright, so this is just sad. I'm trailing this little Civic up here. Again, I've got 375 horses, 6 gears of ZF transmission. I want to say a 351 rear end ratio. Giant brakes that stop this thing just about better than any other car on the road at the time. And I'm idling in traffic at 23 miles an hour. So life is not being very good to me right now. Let's see if we can get on it a little bit around this corner. I'm always waiting for a police trap to get me, but you know, you got to kind of pump these things a little bit in the morning to get them tuned up. Get the cobwebs out. Oh, Lord. Anyway, so what else can I tell you? You can have a look around the car. You can see how nice it is to look out the plexiglass window. You can see how nice and tight the dash is. None of the warping that comes on cars that haven't been garaged. The original red paint is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that dog. He's out of his mind. And the car is just stunning. And nobody really knows it isn't a standard C4, you know. They think I'm tooling around in a $5,000 Corvette. You know, for that reason, I kind of like it the same way I like the Phaeton. You know, a $120,000 Volkswagen that you pull up somewhere and people think you're in a Jetta. So this thing has kind of the same effect for me. You can see that little square there on the windshield. I think that's for highway pass. It has a, let's hit it. Oh man, is that... Alright, so immediate kick the tail to the right unleashes those 375 horse, and you're just having a very, very good time right away. So there it is, 1990 Chevrolet Corvette C. Leap forward for General Motors when it came out. Sorry for the bouncing in the sun, but I'm gonna go kill the video now and have the time of my life. So thanks very much for having a look. We appreciate it, and we'll see you with the next one. Take care. Buy this car. It's a bargain. You'll make money on it, I promise. Take care.